I'm curious, what are your actual hopes for Deadpool and Wolverine?
That they really don't fuck up Wolverine's return. Because he already had such a great ending in Logan. I would hate for him to come back and then just be an absolute flop. And then the last thing we remember from Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is a dumpster fire movie.
We'll go over the teaser, but very briefly. A lot of I saw these like TikTok slash reels people talking about how
Mm-hmm.
they think the reason the TVA shows up is because of his wish on the birthday cake,
Yeah.
which I don't think at all. I think the obvious reason the TVA is here is because he went back in time to save all of X-Force.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
that that feels like super obvious. The Marvels is basically an irredeemable shitstorm, cyclone,
I
tornado of
haven't seen it.
fire.
Thank God.
It's horrible. But
I
one
know.
of the bigger problems with it is that it heavily relies on you having seen Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, Secret
Yeah.
Invasion, and like basically everything else. And I'm like, dear God, please don't make this movie that. Please don't make it so you need to see Deadpool 1, Deadpool 2, all of the X-Men movies, Loki seasons
Mm-hmm.
1 and 2. Don't do that. So I kind of despise this teaser because it does the worst movie trailer thing ever, where they just staple a bunch of lines from the movie together to form a sentence that's probably not even going to be said in the movie.
Oh
And
yeah, of
every
course.
time trailers do that, it pisses me off because it feels like false advertising.
This is the first time for me in the Marvel Universe.
Do you have any stake whatsoever in Cassandra Nova?
Oh, Charles Xavier's daughter,
Not daughter. It's so
sister.
funny. Charles Xavier. Okay, so there was an instance a few. No, it was over a decade ago now. Actually, sheesh. Over a decade ago, there was an instance in the Marvel Comics continuity where Red Skull got the cosmic cube, and he was very one track minded with what he did with it, but he altered reality to the point where so many variables were thrown out of whack that Marvel at that time could just pull things out of their ass and it would make sense because, like, oh, Red Skull did this with the Cosmic Cube without even realizing it, right?
Right.
So, one of the aftermath things was, oh no, my evil mutant sister that I killed in the womb out of sheer instinct is now alive and an adult and she is super evil. In the comic, it leads to one of the more interesting X-Men storylines. Chris Claremont's E is for Extinction. Basically, Cassandra Nova gets control of a bunch of Sentinels and sicks them all on Genosha, and
Right.
it's a terrifying, horrible massacre. And if you're someone who was reading Chris Claremont's X-Men, it was shocking because this is the mainstream continuity. So when Beast
Yeah.
dies, he's like dead. So
Mm-hmm.
so like, stuff like that. So yeah, she was okay in the comics, but again, comic continuity's kind of dog shit. So like,
Yep.
if people don't care about her, it's kind of rightfully so. I also really like the detail that you can see on his scalp. He doesn't wear his wig normally. He stapled it to his head,
Yeah.
which I think is a funny detail. I feel like this movie has more self-awareness than your average Marvel movie because I think Ryan Reynolds knows how much people hate the TVA and some parts of Loki because he's just gratuitously killing off all the TVA agents. Ooh, I never noticed that.
The Secret Wars comic.
It's a rotting classic Secret Wars comic, not the Hickman run. It's the classic one from the pre 2000s. I like that. Like that's the toy ad Secret Wars, not the universe collateral Doctor Doom Secret Wars. Cool.
Now get the fuck out of my bar.
Just give me one more drink and then I'll leave.
So I think that line is not because, oh, mutant racism. No. I think that line is because the trailer establishes this Wolverine failed his world and people died. So I don't think it's a case of him being a mutant and he's hated. I think it's a case of him being just a failure, and because of that, he's hated.
Oh, whiskey dick.
I love this line, whiskey dick of the claws.
It's quite common in Wolverines over 40. You know,
Quite common in Wolverines over 40. I love that so much. They're fighting in front of the 20th Century Fox Studios logo.
Oh, that's so mean.
Can we talk about how fire this Wolverine costume is?
Very much.
It
The
took
shoulder pads.
It took 24 years for him to finally be in blue and yellow spandex. How did it take this long, Marvel?
Could have kept his flock of seagulls head mask.
I would have loved that. Maybe he'll have that for like 5 minutes and then get it like shredded off or something.
Oh no, they're gonna have a nanotech helmet.
I will literally track down and strangle Feige if they give him a nanotech helmet. So I think the twist, because this is just all the X-Men dead, right? This is all their graves.
Right.
And I think, because this imagery, this iconography reminds me of Days of Future Past. So I think that what this is the timeline where he failed to change the past, so everybody died. So I don't think they tased him. I don't think they stunned him. I think that because he's in the TVA, his powers aren't working, which means that the adamantium is devouring him while he's here. So that's why he's passed out on the floor.
I don't know. Could be literally anything.
I think, well, no, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm saying continuity-wise, it would make perfect sense. It would make perfect sense if he just...
Do you really think they would be that smart?
No, because I've told you about the few times that continuity creates unintentional comedy, right? In the Secret Empire story, evil Nazi Captain America shuts off Mighty Thor's power, so it's Jane Foster loses the hammer and has an All Might blood spray moment. It's so funny. She's like, "Have at thee," and he goes, "Doo-doo," and she goes, and just falls over.
What is with the continuous nut shot?
Damn.
Can we talk about how every man across the globe felt this?
Oh yeah.
In unison, we all flinched and went, "Oh!" I can't wait until they get roughed up by the big bad so horribly that he has to rip off his sleeves. Liefeld's just feet. Rob Liefeld, the comic artist who notoriously can't draw feet. I think that's a hysterical Easter egg. That right there,
I just got hard.
that's just porn for the diehards right there. This is just pornography for X-Men fans. They were like, "Don't worry, we know what you want. Here's the shot of him becoming fully X-wrecked."
Hey, can you just go back and let me see that again?
You need to see it again. You're almost there. You're almost there. You're almost there. Here, I got you.
Yeah, I'm almost
Hold on, I got you.
Oh,
Hold on, no, hold on, I'll do it in slow-mo. Sorry. Anyways. I feel like Cassandra Nova is one of those... She came about in an era where the continuity of Marvel and DC was a mess, so no one really took her seriously. But she happened in the middle of a Chris Claremont run of X-Men, which means that she was around when the writing was good. So depending on how this movie handles her, they might be able to reignite interest in her as a character, which will be a double-edged sword. She's known for being super tactical and super overpowered. So you could believably write her being a competent antagonist who wallops all the men without it being, like, cringe, you know?
Basically, Balalaika from Black Lagoon.
Or I was thinking more like Biken from Guilty Gear, but that works too. Lady Deathstrike. This is, what's her name with the tattoo from X-Men 3. This is Azazel. I don't know, I'm just glad he's back because Azazel was so wasted in X-Men First Class. He's there just to say, "Hey, yeah, Nightcrawler dad," and then he dies. And I'm like, oh, okay. And yeah, then there's Pyro. And this is for those of you who don't know, this whole
rotting corpse.
because this is Old Man Logan fan service. In Old Man Logan, an enemy base is just a giant Ant-Man corpse. And I know this is Old Man Logan fan service because they are driving Red Skull's car. It's hard to tell, but yeah, it's Red Skull's car with flame motifs. Might be an homage to Ghost Rider. We don't know. But if you see it clearly, I can't pause it accurately enough. But if you see it clearly, this right here is an Iron Man logo instead of a Hydra logo, which could mean anything. Could just be a visual flair. But I think it's cool. Regardless, I think it's cool. They clearly are putting a bit more passion into the set design of this movie than they are.
Behind it.
I don't know. All we've
There's a
seen,
Mad Max
we've
thing
seen,
behind there.
seen that it's like a Mad Max lineup.
Now we just need an actual guy randomly tied to the back of the car rocking out.
Yeah, they have oh, it's
With
like
a
a
flamethrower guitar.
no. They got Psylocke. They got Psylocke strung up, but instead of using her psychokinetic swords, she's instead doing a psychokinetic bass guitar. Dogpool. Really? No one else feels anything for this? Just me?
Just you.
It's Dogpool! Am I really the
Dogpool.
only one who gives a crap about Dogpool?
Probably.
Yes,
Oh.
because you're the only one who used to own a dog that small.
She was not that small. You take that back. This right here is literally Editor Son. Just show Chris Hemsworth in the Furiosa trailer doing literally the exact same thing. So I'm confused. They're jumping through a portal.
Doctor Strange.
They're jumping through a portal, but
No,
she's
it's Ned.
She's still standing here.
Ew.
So they don't defeat her. They're just leaving her here. I'm very interested to see the context of this scene.
I'm assuming they're escaping and not. This is probably one of the mid fights.
Oh, you think so? You think this is either the
Mid-movie
first half of the
fights.
movie or like 2/3 in, and they need to make a tactical retreat?
Yeah. That could make an easy explanation.
And I feel like this is an easy thing to discard. This is clearly whited out. We're clearly gonna see what's behind the portal in the actual movie.
Yeah.
The dumbest theory I've seen is that they're gonna jump into the endgame fight. I'm like, why would they do that?
Oh
Literally,
yeah, it's like this is how Thanos got his 3 scar on his face type thing.
This title goes hard. The font, the fact that it's not called Deadpool 3, it's Deadpool and Wolverine. I totally don't like this lady looks completely different in her Deadpool getup than she does in any other outfit she ever wears. Have either of you ever noticed that? She's in the first episode of Fallout. And you never notice her because she looks normal. She just looks like her hair is not this great. Her hair is not this gray IRL. This and Blade, I feel like have the potential to be the two good movies in the upcoming lineups because we finally got word that Blade has its script completed because Mahershala Ali finally broke enough arms to get the writers to finally be like, okay, fine, we'll write a good script. So yeah, I think this will be good. I can't wait.
I think it'll be enjoyable.
You think there's potential, but you're prepared for disappointment?
Yes, ever since Multiverse of Madness. Yeah,
Let's
just
put it this way. Phase 4 and 5 has put everything into doubt.
pretty much.
Unfortunately.
You literally never know if it's going to be good or bad anymore. It's just the nature of the biz.
I'm gonna rip you in half now.
That is such a juggernaut thing to say.